Today, I wanted to run through why having the Claude Desktop app might be the best AI solution for your business. Entering the desktop app, we're going to see a few differentiators to your standard ChatGPT or Claude instance. And the first is the different work environments. It's currently broken up into 3 different environments, being chat, which you can think of as your standard kind of ChatGPT web interface. You can think of Cowork, which is a team-focused work environment that connects to any enabled services that you've got in your business. So think Slack, Notion, Google Drive, or any other service that you're using to run your business. You can customize those services into specific automated workflows all through Cowork, and you can share those with your coworkers. Finally, you've got the coding environment, which is a very similar setup to Claude Code. This is something where you'd link this to a code repository or start coding from scratch. For example, I've prompted this code section to make me a small to-do app that can create a checklist of to-do items. And just like this would in Claude Code, it can spin it up and we can see a preview of this here. So we could add a task like make website. We can tick it off and there it is. So that's just a quick example of using this code window. Looking at the Cowork tab, this is where you'll integrate Claude into all of your web systems and services that you're using for your business. You can see on the ideas pane some examples of what you might want to do. So in this case, it shows how to create a daily briefing through Google Calendar, Gmail, and Slack. So it's most likely, in this case, going to connect to your Google Calendar, scan for meetings, read emails, and surface important insights and post that into Slack. So you could just click that. I don't have all of this set up or connected, so it will ultimately most likely prompt me to connect those services, but you can get an idea of a pretty quick and easy automation that is able to be tasked to Claude Cowork. As you create these automations, there's also a scheduling panel which lets you tell Claude to run these automations that you make at specific times or intervals. The one caveat is that your machine actually has to be open and running, so you can't run these remotely just yet. But here you can click into it, name your task, and ultimately set the frequency. To add in connections, all you need to do is come to Customize and click on Connectors. From there, in the top right, you can see this plus button and browse connections there, and you'll get a sense of all the possible connections that you can seamlessly link Claude Cowork to. So that might be Notion, Canva, Slack, or HubSpot, as well as many more. If you've watched any of my previous videos as well, you can see that Claude Cowork has access to skills, which is quickly becoming the #1 way to work with AI models like Claude. Skills are like specific sub-agents that are very good at a single task. So in this case, we can see a skill called front-end design, which is used to create highly aesthetic, non-AI looking web designs. What's nice is you can also partition Claude Cowork to work inside of specific folders, so that you're essentially only going to be operating in a specific folder and different folders and files can't be reached. Finally, we can go back to the chat pane. This is your standard interface, and this is where you would interact with it like you would ChatGPT. One exciting thing here that I think I've actually underutilized while using Claude is the idea of artifacts. Artifacts are essentially mini apps. So in this case, I've created a quiz artifact that lets you drop in a PDF and it'll generate a quiz for you based on the PDF that you've put in. So if I grab a PDF and I can put it in here and press generate quiz, now this will come up with questions based on the PDF that I've uploaded. This is important because you can create custom artifacts for your business and share that with coworkers so that they can use these. All I need to do is come up and publish this, copy the link, and share that with any coworkers or friends or businesses who might also find this artifact useful. One thing about artifacts is while they'll have access to the initial artifact, anything they do with the artifact stays with them. So you won't see, in the case of this quiz, you won't see what files they upload or what their answers are to the quiz. all they've got access to is the core of the artifact itself. But it's a nice way to build essentially a mini app without having to deploy an app via URL or hosted service like you might have seen me in other videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this primer on why you might want to switch and start using Claude on the desktop. If you want to set this up for yourself or your business and haven't been able to follow along perfectly, simply drop a comment below or shoot me a message and we can have a chat. Thanks.